So welcome to those of us who are going to be listening to this particular recording. This is advertising guidelines, and we are starting off with what is it to advertise? It's anything spoken, anything written, anything visual. So let's give examples. What is spoken? If I'm doing a home buyer seminar and I am promoting my services, that's advertising. If I'm doing a home seller workshop, that is advertising. When I go to the community and I'm doing community events and I'm speaking to people, that is advertising. When I call someone because I found I have their leads and I got it from an open house, I got it from Zillow advertising, I got it from OpCity, whatever it is, and you're calling that person in order for you to solicit their business, that's advertising because that's spoken. When I do a video, that's spoken. When I do a podcast, that is spoken. And or if I do a radio advertisement, that is spoken as well. So then we get into written. Written now gets into flyers, brochures, business cards, emails, websites as well. So that's all written. Visual gets into the tangibles. This is where I am going to probably get a pop socket for people to have on the back of their phones. That's visual. This encompasses your yard signs and anything that people can see. It encompasses your clothing, pens, water bottles customized, your cutting boards, anything of all that. That's all visual. T-shirts, that's all visual that I am doing, whether it is me or if, for example, I had Shay create the T-shirt for me. It doesn't matter whether it is me or someone else doing it for me. I am the one that is responsible in conjunction with my broker to make sure that the advertisement does follow the guidelines. So if I go online and I go to Vistaprint and get the business cards, unfortunately, disclaimer, EXP is global and we use the marketing center, which is global, and they're not specific to Maryland. It doesn't matter still. I, Brenda, need to be aware of what needs to be in that business card or the marketing piece that I get from the marketing center. So whether it is done by me or on my behalf. And all of this, you can get a screenshot of it or get more as to where I got it from the Maryland General Assembly website, in case somebody wants to, again, see where that information is coming from. You can go to the Maryland General Assembly and pull it up. So advertisement is anything spoken, written, or printed. So this is many different ways that we are advertising. Majority of us probably on the digital side, through your social media, through your text messages, through your emails, through your website, etc. And then some of us have the written stuff where you're doing direct mail. So this is where it's expanding upon it again. An advertisement is pretty much anything. A mailing, newsletter, brochure, anything that you're sending out there to the public for you to get their business is definitely going to be covered as an advertisement. So when we're talking about advertising, now what are some of the things that I need to be aware of? In terms of the code of ethics, so we've covered what is coming from the government. What is considered as an advertisement is pretty much anything that I'm doing, whether I'm saying it, whether you're going to be reading it, or you're going to be seeing it, whether it's done by me or by someone else. It's all an advertisement method that I'm using to capture your business. So when I am advertising, present a true picture. I think we all know that from your code of ethics. The basic thing in all of our advertisement is that second paragraph. It has to include the full company name. We are lucky enough that EXP is not a franchise. So us having EXP Realty is sufficient, or I think we go by EXP Realty LLC. So we have to disclose the entire company name in everything that we're doing. That's it. Every advertisement needs to have the full company name, So for today's conversation, really, because majority of us are with the same company, we're good with that. If you're not able to use the logo, then you need to type in the words. So what I mean by that is that, for example, a text message, I might not have it as a multimedia type of a text message to where I'm able to have the logo. So if it's a text message, then I need to just spell out eXp Realty LLC. So the logo or the company name is fine, and our logo, just so that we're on the same page, is our logo spells out eXp Realty, so we're fine. If it was, for example, some of you might be familiar with other companies like Holder Banker, Remax, Keller Williams, those are franchises. So having just the franchise Remax is not enough, or the balloon is not enough. It needs to be spelled out with the full company name. So full company name. So we'll get into examples in a couple of minutes. I just want to have the template and the conversation as to where we need to begin at. In review, we spoke about that what is an advertisement, anything spoken. So if I'm doing a video, I'm going to say which company I'm with. If I'm posting something, we'll talk about posting in a couple minutes. The next thing we have is in our code of ethics is there needs to be a direct connection with the broker, and all it says is that it needs to be obvious. So with that understanding is there's nowhere that it talks about the size being the same, the font being the same, or being directly connected to my name. The only people who are required to have the company directly connected to the naming system is when you have a team. So obvious is, again, taken very many different ways. If I look at your business card, I need to see who you are with. It doesn't mean that it has to be right next to my name. I could have all my contact information and my name on the front face. And then when I flip it over, it has the company information. That's fine. On my email signature, I could have my name, my contact information, social media, taglines, address, whatever it is that you want. And then at the very bottom, you could have the company name. That's fine. As long as when I look at that advertisement, I can easily tell who is Brenda working for. So it needs to be obvious. There's nothing to do with it being the same font, size, or that it has to be directly connected with your name. Teams will have to focus on that. And I don't think anyone is part of a team. And if there is, I will talk about teams at the very end. Let's talk about names, nicknames. So if there are any questions, if you've taken a class with me, you are welcome to activate your microphone, put it in chat, or raise your hand, and then we'll be able to come to you and see what you have for me. Let's talk about nicknames. Some of us have nicknames that we're using in our advertisement. If you have a nickname, it needs to be on your license as well. So how will your nickname be displayed? It is what they call a designated name. It needs to be on your license. So let me give you an example of someone that I know that has a nickname. And what I am finding my way to is the Realistic Commission website. I'm going to pull up this person just to give you an example as to how it is going to be displayed. So here you have these names. Barbara Maloney is someone that we do business together. And so she sometimes, oh wait, Barbara, I guess she goes by Barbara. There was somebody who, okay, wasn't Barbara. So notice here, some of her licenses, this is normally a question that I get sometimes is, should you or must you have your middle name? The answer is no. As long as you have a first and or nickname, and last name, you're fine. So you don't have to have your middle initial or name if you don't have to. You just need to have first and or nickname, and then your last name. So let me pull up someone else that maybe I am thinking of. Is there anyone here who has a nickname? Anyone have a registered nickname? Okay, we are quiet today. I guess no one does. So let me pull up one just to give you an example as to how it shows up. And I do have somebody to show, but I don't want to get them into trouble because I'm going to be talking to them. So this is an example of this name. So nicknames will normally show in brackets or parentheses. So I am going to do my best to make sure I respect that person's name. So their first and last name, and then they have a nickname. So if you have a nickname that you are using in your business, then it needs to show up there. So you're seeing here Thomas, and these are all people at EXP that I'm pulling. So you have Thomas Arrington, his nickname. Kenneth, he can use Ken. Last name, he can use Tom, last name. So as long as you have that, you are good. So I don't know if he's here today. So one of my, oh yeah, John is here. So Jonathan Gladden is here, and I'm going to stretch this conversation because I don't know if you did it. I see something in the chat box. So let me see. So Jonathan, if I'm stumbling here, it's on purpose. I don't know if you ever added your nickname. I would. This is a safe place. So Jonathan, in your, for example, Zoom right now, and most of your stuff you go by John, I would recommend going to the website for the Realistic Commission, and all of this is with love, and go ahead and add your your nickname, just JON, for you to be able to use it in your marketing. All you have to do is to go to their website. The cost is $25. And how you're going to enter it when they're asking you, how do you want your name to display? It shall be Jonathan Gladden. You can take out your middle initial if you want to. And then this is how you're going to type it in when they're asking you to change the name. So Jonathan, this is an assignment for you today. Someone else mentioned Flo. What is Flo's last name? This is all with love. So when I'm checking, this is coming from a place of love. Annette, I am running into a blank. What is her last name? Sorry. Flo. Oh, was it Williams? I'm sorry. What is Flo's last? Okay, Williams. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's see. Shay, we're going to check yours and then we'll go from there. Williams. Okay, so there you go. Yes, Annette, thank you. So Flo did it perfect. This is how it's showing. And so Flo in her marketing is able to use, again, she can use her nickname and last name, or first name and last name. So it's a combination of two, first and last, or nickname and last. Okay, Shay, last one. She's volunteering to have me check in. R. Hold on, let me pause this. Sometimes I don't like it when people are seeing me scrolling, so I'm getting there. Okay. No, Shahara. I'm sorry, I said it even wrong. No, Shay. Sahira, yes, this is your opportunity. Just like Jonathan today with love, you can go to the Realistic Commission website and get that added for you. So take the opportunity to do that. Now, usually for both of you who are present today, might be asking, so Brenda, where do I go? I'm the type of person, I will tell you where to go and show you. So for this particular exercise, excuse us while I cover my bases for the people that need to go and do that. And this is also an exercise for some of you. Here it says, so I'm in the Realistic Commission website and you can just search for it online. I will do my best to see whether I am able to put it in the chat box. Here, when you go to change your information or status, this is the link that gives you the opportunity for the individuals that we're helping right now to go ahead and change this information. So here's where you're going to go to, and clicking on this link covers two things. The biggest one that I'm going to have as a sidetrack is your email and home address. If anyone here has changed their address or their email, then this is the place you're going to go to. I'll come back to why this is important. And then here's where Jonathan, John, Shay, you're going to go to, personal name and nicknames. So for the individuals where this is applicable, or all of us really should go there and check what is the home address that the Realistic Commission has for us. And what if you need to put your email address, do so. You will log in and then the prompts will be able to guide you through there. All of us should go check, especially for emails. You are able to have 2 email addresses in there. Why is your email address important to give to the Realistic Commission? Is because everything now is being done by email. When you are at that point where your license is about to expire, the Realistic Commission is going to email you stuff. If there's any communication from the Realistic Commission, it's now coming via email. They're not sending anything by mail. So they do need to have your good email address. Majority of us changed companies, and therefore you do need to check what email address they have on there. You have opportunity to put 2. One is, let's say, the business one at EXP, and or a personal one that you know you're going to have for as long as you are doing real estate. Jonathan and Shay, the cost for you to add your nickname is going to be $25. I think that's a safe investment, because if somebody was to file a complaint for your nickname not being on your license, the cost could be up to $5,000. So that's homework for today. Feedback, questions so far? Thank you, Shay. Feedback, comments so far?
I have a question. This is Kim.
Hi,
so
Kim.
If you update your nickname, you'll get a new license?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. And I think our process is what? It goes to EXP land, and then you're able to access it on, what is it called? Trello.
And 2 licenses, right, Brenda? One with your full name and one with your nickname.
One
Right,
license.
just one? Oh, with the parentheses. Okay, they changed it. Okay, okay. It used to be 2. All right.
So it's a whole new license? Like
No,
new
it's
license
not.
number? Oh, okay.
Same license number, but
Same
you got to get a new
license.
print.
Yeah, same license. It will just be Jonathan Gladden, brackets or parentheses, John. Same license. Any other so far?
No, but this is good information. Thank you, because we got a lot of nicknames and short names. Thanks, Brenda.
Sure. Let's talk about marriage and divorces. Same thing. So when you get married or when you get divorced, either of those 2 sides, and here I'm going to discriminate because majority of the times it's us women who are having that name changes for now. So when you get married and you're still waiting for your documents to get legalized, or I think that's a word I'm just going to use. You get married, but your documents, your legal documents are still in the process of being done. You can register your future married name as a nickname and then give the Realistic Commission all the documents when it's done. So that is possible as well. And same thing on the other flip side of the coin. You have now gone through a divorce. You're now going to be taking back your maiden name, and it's still a process for the documents to be switched over. You would just register your maiden name as a nickname and then give them the legal documents that you need. So I don't know, Audra, I'm picking on you. This is a safe place. Did you do that already? I don't know if she's able to. Okay, perfect. And walk us through the system. Did you just get your legal documents and send it to them, or you registered a nickname? Which process did you go through? I guess she's not able to speak. She's putting it in the chat box. She submitted all the documents. Thank you for sharing. So we've covered names, nicknames. Let's make sure before I move to the next one, there are no questions on the names. Okay, let's progress to, I'm probably gonna go through telephone numbers, and then we'll go through social media. So we talked about designated name, which is the name that appears on your license. And this is where I'm going to echo what you're seeing directly from the government point of view. It's first name, nickname, or last name. So it's a combination of one of the two. First name, last name, nickname, last name. Now let's talk about the size stuff. Here's where sometimes people say, well, it needs to be a certain size, and I pull this up. All it says is what? Meaningfully and conspicuously displayed in terms of the name of the company. I think we're good with that, unless there are questions. It doesn't have to be the same font, as long as it is somewhere. It is somewhere. The advertising checklist is going to be updated, but for now, we have this advertising checklist that is helpful for us to use. Majority of you have access to it. And if you don't, I will show you where you are able to find it. And I will have somebody help me in the chat box to probably find the link on the Realistic Commission website and post that link on the chat box. The advertising checklist, how the Realistic Commission looks at this is that this is your guidance, but it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? If something is not on the checklist, you cannot say, I didn't see it on the checklist. So right now we're going to be talking about social media eventually today. That is not yet on the checklist. The checklist is just a guidance. We still need to be aware of whatever is in the laws and whatever is in the regulations. The checklist is a guidance. So we've covered the name on your license. We've covered, this is the next one that is a sticky one. This one talks about license category. Let me not say it. I don't think they're really going to be paying attention. The one that they really pay attention to is definitely your name and who are you working for, who are you working with, who is your supervisor. However, we need to pay attention to this one, license category. You go to create a profile on, I don't know, Zillow. You create a profile on Redfin as a, what do they call it? Partner, Redfin partner or something like that. You go create a profile on Realtor.com, Trulia, all those online profiles, which are not only in Maryland, they are nationwide. And then you're being asked, well, Brenda, what title do you want to refer yourself as? And you have all of these drop downs. In Maryland, I would say avoid that. because the only license category that they accept is going to be the word salesperson, which a lot of the nationwide products, they will say sales associate, associate salesperson. They wouldn't have just the word salesperson. And then associate broker, if you're one, such as myself and Nakia, who've gone through the broker course and you've taken the exam and now you're an associate broker, and or broker. So you will see different terms that are used across the country. I would say avoid it. The safest one that I would say you're able to pick from is Realtor, because you're paying to the National Association of Realtors. Otherwise, all the others, terms such as associate, are not recognized as licensing categories. So again, the only available options is one of the three. So this is where they're looking at who are you and what are you referenced to in Maryland. Illinois referenced everyone as a broker, and then the managing principal broker is the one that's given that title. So here, Brenda is saying the safest one, if you have to pick one, is Realtor, because you're a member. Otherwise, all of those other definitions or titles that we're offered, yeah, avoid those. Feedback. Okay. Looks like, please. Okay, so while you're asking, I'm paying attention, but I am going to get the advertising checklist on the chat because I don't see it there yet. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Okay, so you said everything else avoid. So what if it doesn't have Realtor on as an option?
I would avoid it.
Okay, so okay.
I would just avoid it. Now, again, it's a tall task for all of this to be policed, just like a lot of us get away with speeding and we're not caught, you know. I would say avoid it.
And where are we referencing, Amy? Where are we referencing where it wouldn't have it at?
I don't know. I was just thinking of
right, because normally you could type your title.
Like if they have all those other options, sometimes they may not have Realtor. I don't know.
I'm thinking you should be able to type your title in most places. So and if you type in your title, it need to be either salesperson or Realtor.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's just the safest.
Yes. Yes. The advertising checklist is now on the chat box, and I saved something else. Okay, for us to go and check our email addresses and what was the other one? For the people who need to go ahead and update their nicknames, that link is also on the chat box. We've covered names, we've covered the titles, we've covered the broker name is in full, and now we are finding our way to the next chapter of this conversation, which is the telephone number. So I will be coming back to the advertising checklist, but first let's guide us through, well, what is the law starting off at? So the question I always ask is, must the telephone number be in all advertisements? And most of you, if I was to poll, dare I say, would say yes. However, let's piggyback to what is an advertisement? An advertisement is anything spoken, anything written, and anything visual, right? So as long as here the template or the guidance is, as long as I have my name and or nickname shared, and then I share my company full name, I am good. If I stop there. Again, if I'm saying, hi, this is Brenda with eXp Realty. I will be doing a home buyer seminar on Saturday at 10. I would love for you to attend. I am good. The moment I share a way for the consumer to connect with me. So if I continue on, please call me at 410-709-8337. Right there, you need to tell them the office telephone number. So office telephone number of the broker is needed when you provide a way for the consumer to connect with you. So here, when we're looking at the code, this has been there since 2004. I might not use my telephone number or email address. Now, this has been expanded unless I have the office telephone number. So the moment I share with them a way for them to connect with me, the broker's telephone number needs to be present. Your business cards, you're getting them from the EXP Marketing Center. I know they don't automatically have the 2 telephone numbers as an option. That's not an excuse, my dear. This is why even the Real Estate Commission will say we should be filtering the advertising with our brokers. EXP also, when you look at their marketing policies, they say it needs to be checked by your broker. Some of you are just doing it. At least filter it with your mentor or one of us just to make sure you're okay. I know the business cards on there don't have a telephone number. This is where you get creative. In Maryland, we don't have to have our license numbers. So then just replace the license number with your office telephone number. But the moment, bear with me, Kim, the moment you share a way for the consumer to connect with you, you need the broker's telephone number. I'll go a little bit, but let me check in with Kim because I'm going to be talking about social media and give examples. Go ahead, Kim.
So are you saying that we need to have everything we advertise, we need to have it ran through by the broker or our mentor, everything that we post on social media?
No, I didn't say social. I say any well, maybe that was what was understood. I say any of your marketing should be filtered through your broker or team manager. That's the policy from EXP as well. However, let's assume you don't, right? Because I think that's where I might go on this one. Let's assume you don't. Then this is why you are going through this particular class today, and you are guiding yourself with the advertising checklist. That is what is expected, Kim. But again, yeah, we know that is nearly impossible for the broker to be able to be filtering. I don't know how many we are in Maryland. I'm sure we're close to 3,000 or 4,000. I'm sure it's hard for the broker to be filtering all the advertisement that we do. Now, your last statement was social media. I'm going to table social media in a different category for now. And then once I go through it, let's see whether you still need guidance to your question. Is that fair?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So let's go through the conversation of what is next. And again, I'll be echoing a couple of things a couple of times. So when we talk about online advertising, majority of us are probably using social media, or we are guiding people to some online platform. So social media is probably heavily used. So this is where we have guidance on our code of ethics, the regulations. This is what was updated, and to provide clarity. Any electronic media advertisement shall contain the applicable disclosures set forth in G2 and G3. G2 and G3, if I go back to that particular conversation, is talking about, Brenda, you do need to have G2 is present a true picture, have the broker's contact information, and if I use a way for the consumer to connect with me, I need to have the broker telephone number. So that is G2 and G3. So I'm slowing down on this part. True picture, broker full name, and if I provide my contact information, I need to have the broker's telephone number. Then we go into websites and or social media for this particular conversation. This is where I'm gonna pause, take a breather, and we'll see. On the first 25% of the main page of my electronic media advertising, website, social media, etc. I need to have what? Broker full name, and if I have my contact information, their telephone number as well. And then it has the word or. If the space I am using does not give me enough space for me to have on the first 25% of the main page, my broker full name, and if I have my contact information, my broker's telephone number, if that is the case. So let's give examples of what is applicable in letter 4B with that word if. Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, Twitter. What's the other one? I think those are it, right? So those are the four. I might be missing another one. What's the one with the yellow? Snapchat. Okay, so those ones. In my bio, I only have less than 300 characters to brag about myself and tell people I'm in real estate and that I am a mom and so forth, right? I don't have a lot of space. So if that is the case, then I am able to now provide a link that people click to and are taken to my website. So let's break this down. And who am I speaking of? Facebook doesn't qualify as an excuse for me to have a single link. LinkedIn doesn't either. Why? Because the bio is not limited to 280 characters. So the one-click rule is not a blanket for all social media platforms. It is only applicable to the platforms that I have limited space to talk about myself and tell them I'm a realtor and who I am and what I do. Then I'm able to have a link. So let's give examples. This is something that I too had to pay attention to because some of us, this is going to be coming from a place of love. So some of us are using Linktree or links on, let's say, Instagram or all of those other platforms. Well, if your profile is showing that you do something to do with real estate and you're advertising yourself and you have your Linktree as an example, if somebody clicks on that Linktree, does Linktree automatically tell people that you are in real estate? Probably not. So what I ended up doing, using myself as an example, is I use Linktree. And when somebody clicks on Linktree, for me, mine doesn't have the information about which company I am affiliated. I am using me as an example. You could easily have, you know, eXp Realty on here. I just chose to have that tagline and there's no eXp logo. But I am saying that I'm a real estate educator. So could I argue that I'm not using it for real estate? Maybe, but again, the perception is there that Brenda is in real estate. I don't think the public goes deeper into, well, she's a teacher, therefore I don't want to have her help me buy or sell the house. So the idea is how the public is receiving it. So what I had to do, this is Brenda, again here, in Instagram, you have the ability to have 280 characters. I chose to go with the bullet points or what have you. So what I ended up doing is disclosing which company I'm with right here in my bio. And then when somebody clicks on my link tree, I'm still fine. Why? Because I disclosed which company I am with. Notice here, there's no one thing that you can do. All the message is that when somebody's, let's say, coming to my profile, in my bio, do they see whom I am affiliated? Okay, let's assume they don't, because Instagram is only 280 characters. The next question the realistic commissioners are going to look at is, okay, if Brenda provided me a link, and that link, when I click on it, do I see in the first 25% of that page who Brenda is affiliated with? That's the question here. If they don't, that's where we have a challenge. So once again, if I'm going to keep echoing this, not everyone is using Linktree. Some of us are going to, instead of Linktree, you have a link to your EXP website. That's fine, because when I click on it, I am then directed to the EXP website, which provides the company logo. And then if I have my contact information, the office telephone number is there. Looking for conversation here. So in the social media space, if you have limitations in terms of how much space you have to brag about yourself, 280 characters, you don't have to spell out which company you're with. However, the link that you're going to provide needs to lead people to where they see which company you're affiliated with. Questions, feedback? Whatever website we are leading them to, this is where I am going to be using myself as an example. And I don't know if EXP has updated this. This is a disclaimer. I don't know. So right now, if I was to lead them to my EXP website, we have the company name there, which is fine. My contact information on this particular template is not anywhere here, so you're not seeing my telephone number. So again, all they're looking for is the company full name. And then if Brenda provides her contact information, do we see the broker's telephone number? So that's what we are looking for. And right now, if I scroll down, actually, yeah, EXP, do they only give us the telephone numbers when people go to contact us? I guess this tells you I don't go to this website a lot. So when they go to contact me, we have my, okay, so I need to go look at this template as well. So notice here, when they go to contact us, yep, I am in violation right now. Let's be clear, because this template has my office telephone, I'm sorry, my cell phone number here. And I don't know what 25% honestly is going to end up being, because I am at 100% right now. If I zoom out, could I argue, well, you can see the contact information, but still this template doesn't give me the telephone number of the office. So I also need to do some adjustments here. Questions, comments, feedback?
I have a question.
Okay.
What would the adjustment be for us to make, since this is
I have no idea, because I need to log in. So Don, I have no idea. This is where, yes, I have no idea. Could it be that I take out my, I don't know. Let me not stumble. I don't know. Once I log in, I'm sure we can figure it out, or it shall be, hey, Lisa Lowe, broker, this is something that needs to be challenged and altered for us to be in compliance per the Maryland real estate rules.
There's another template, guys. There's another template, y'all. Y'all just had to change templates. You didn't change your template. Just go to your another template.
Thank you. Notice here in the rules, it doesn't say every post, because sometimes people ask, well, should my contact information be on every post? No. If you want it to be, go ahead, as long as the basic things apply. Full company name, and then if you're going to provide a way for the consumer to connect with you. Now I keep saying a way for the consumer to connect with you. Some of us don't want the consumer to call us. Instead, we're providing them a text messaging number. Still, that's a way for the consumer to connect with us. Some of us are directing them to our social media taglines and or handles. Anything that I am using for the consumer to connect with me directly, I need to have the office telephone number. So if my advertisement tells people, send me an email, I don't want you to call me. If I give them my email address, I need to have the broker's telephone number. So it doesn't have to be apples to apples. It's just whatever means of communication I am sharing with the public for them to directly connect with me. The public needs to have the broker's telephone number. Why? For the consumer to be able to either praise you or complain about you. Everyone has a supervisor unless they're the supervisor themselves. So that is why we need the broker telephone number for the public to be able to connect with whomever that is overseeing what you're doing. And also when the consumer calls the realistic commission, they need to directly connect with the broker. So not every post. If you want to have every post, that's fine, as long as it is covering all those things. The basic part here is on the profile itself, your bio. Any other questions? So Kim, I don't know if I found the answer for you with your question. I think I did, otherwise you'll let me know. Any other questions? Last one is, some of us or majority of us are realtors. So as a realtor, I'm going to talk about the ones that we need to be aware of without assuming. And here I think I had some examples for us to check out. So some of us are also going to maybe invest in having a website created for us. We don't want to use the one that is provided by EXP. So this is an example. Now with him, we're getting into the conversation of teams. I think with today's time frame, we won't get into the team setup because I don't think any one of us are part of a team in terms of the realistic commission understanding of teams. So here he has my contact information. He's provided the email, the website. He has his cell phone number, and then this is the office number here in terms of giving you examples as to what exists out there. And then the other examples that we spoke about, again, with Facebook, you have a lot of information or space in the About Me section. So it doesn't have the one-click rule as an excuse for you to use on a platform like Facebook or LinkedIn, because you have a lot of space there. I give examples of Instagram. I used mine. Phil, we're going to look at his, another example in terms of how you can present yourself. I'm sorry, this one is Twitter. So Twitter is an example here. He has a link to the website, which then has what the realistic commission is looking for, full company name. And if you have contact information, I need to see it in the 25% part. And then I showed mine. Let's talk about you being, I'm going to skip over the teams. What I needed to share was the realtor part of it. So as realtors, you are paying a membership fee to call yourself a realtor. If you're going to use this logo, please make sure it's in full. I know we go online and we found some that are cropped out and it's just the R. Avoid those. Please make sure that you're using it, the R and the words underneath of it with the registered mark. The two come together. If you can't use the image, then we know that we need to have the realtor spelled out. So if you're going to have the image and the words go together, just like the Equal Housing Opportunity logo, that the image with the house and the equal sign and the words go together. Don't use one that has cropped out the word realtor. We need it with the words. On our code of ethics for the realtor side, this is one that is echoed on the code of ethics class, but definitely worth mentioning here. We as realtors, January 1st, 22, we cannot be saying, ooh, I'm a buyer agent. Go ahead and work with me because I work for free. No, you don't. Realtors must not represent that their brokerage services to a client or customer are free or available at no cost. If you have a buyer agency agreement and you're hoping that you're going to collect compensation at settlement, you're not working for free. Someone is paying you. The only way you can say free is no one is paying you. So let's be careful in our words. This is all coming with love. Let's be careful with our wording. You are not working for free. Somebody is paying you. If somebody is paying you, then you are not working for free. Let's see. Okay, so Kim, I'm catching up with the chat box. Kim, you're good. Shay, does email address have to be on your business card? No, that's your choice if you want to. It doesn't have to. That's your choice. The only thing that has to be there, Shay, is again, full company name. If you provide your email, broker telephone number. If you provide your cell phone, broker telephone number. So email doesn't have to be there. So Shay, I'm just catching up. Right, we don't really want to associate free with all the services that we do. Yep, Anisha, thank you. Thank you. You're not working for free. I know sometimes the perception is, okay, buyer, it's not coming directly from your pocket, but technically it is because they're the ones who are producing the sales price agreed upon. This is the other one that is of importance in terms of standard practice 10-5. It doesn't matter where you are. This one is applicable to all of your platforms online, whether you use them for real estate or not. Let me give an example in my world, in order for this to hopefully help some of us. I have 2 Instagram accounts. One is Brenda, the person, and one is Brenda, the person with special diets. And I talk about gluten-free and my diets. I don't talk about real estate there, but I'm still Brenda, the person, the realtor. So even in my Always Be Gluten-Free account where I talk about recipes and the food that I eat, I'm still a realtor there. And therefore, I'm not going to use harassing speech, hate speech based on the protected categories on our code of ethics, which includes gender identity and sexual orientation. This is one of those that has tentacles and covers you, the individual, no matter what you're doing. You're representing the National Association of REALTORS as a member, so it covers that there. So it doesn't matter where you are online, whether it's for real estate purposes or not, we need to make sure we abide by that. This is only going to be 2 minutes and then we'll be done. I thank you for you staying on here. For those who are, I need to talk about the trademark and names that we're using, like your favorite realtor, your neighborhood realtor. We shouldn't be, and this is going to be guidance on that, and then we'll be done for the session.
So high I'm hypnotized. is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world but keep the sky on your mind.
Realtor means member, so it doesn't make sense to say your hometown member. No matter where the term realtor is used, whether on a brochure or a website or in a social post or an ad, using it correctly preserves, promotes, and protects the value for all members. With a little help from realtors everywhere, all NAR members can continue to count on the meaning of the mark to help distinguish themselves and convey credibility and their commitment to serving clients and the community for years to come.
Thank you so much. I am going to put that link on the chat box for the mentors and so forth to share with the people that they're working with. I thank you so much for your time. And let's continue the conversation. If you have any questions, definitely feel free. If I share with you a comment, please know that it's coming from a place of love. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Unless there are questions.
Thanks, Brenda.
You're welcome. Take care.
Thank you, Brenda.
Welcome. Oh, Shay, wonderful. Done. I love it. Thank you. Have a good one.
Brenda, let me ask a quick question while I got you.
Yes.
So from watching the video you just posted, so when we're using like our IG name, so like mine is AMJ_realtor. I should possibly change that because I'm not like AMJ_member. Okay. I'm gonna change that right now.
Well,
thanks to that video.
Let's see. No, I think you're good.
Okay.
Let me show you what examples they have. I would go to their website and triple check, but let me show you what they have as acceptable, and maybe we can see. So they're saying now here the maybe the only comment I would say is yours isn't. So here, for example, Jane Smith, they have the first and last name. This one, they just have the initial last name, and then this one they have last name. So yours, I don't hear your name. What did it say, yours?
It's my initials, so it's AMJ is my initials.
So I would tweak it, and even better for you to brand your name, it helps you.
Okay.
You can still have Amy Johnson and then Realtor, that's fine. That's also going to help you in your branding. And when people Google, that's also going to help you because what is it called? Handles are found on Google. It would help you for you to have your first and last name.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any others? Be blessed. I'll see you next time.